去中国之后。 Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Well, for the sake of time, I guess we will get started. Welcome, everyone. So I want to welcome everyone to our Go Team meeting, where we will follow the agenda as it has been emailed to you and publicly noticed. Can everyone hear me? I'm sorry.
Sorry. How you doing? I'm doing good. I just got on a Go Team meeting. Can I call you back at 5:30? Okay, will do. Bye-bye.
Okay, so our first order of business is to call roll and review our norm. The secretary will now take the roll.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. Dr. Shakir,
Present.
Billy Walker, Billy Walker, Carla Moore, Carla Moore, Sharice Kennedy, Sharice Kennedy, Chelsea Baker, that's me, present. Aisha Fambro. Well, I see you in the chat, Miss Fambro. Hey, Miss Fambro. Shakina Alexander.
Present.
Thank you. Kim Dukes. Kim Dukes. Kim Dukes. Okay. Mamie Moore.
Here.
Thank you. Mariel Hicks. Mariel Hicks. Ebony Scott.
Present.
All right. That's it. Thank you.
I have something weird going on over here where it keeps repeating everything that we say, but I'm going to keep going. Okay, so this team will only be able to take official action if a quorum is present. Is there a quorum present?
I'm sorry, Madam Chair. What's our number for the quorum?
We have to have more.
You broke up. I didn't hear
We
you.
have to have at least half of our voting members, which would be
Okay.
Yes, we have 5 voting members here. I'm excluding Dr. Shakir, correct?
The principal is not a voting member of a Go Team.
Correct. So it's 5 of us present. So yes, we have a quorum.
Okay. So first, we would like to start off.
Sorry.
So our first order of business is to approve the agenda. This was provided to you and copies are here. Well, not here, but they're on your email. Are there any changes to the agenda?
Madam Chair, I'd like to add a report under that action item relative to the school pool. And I think there's this a section where I can give an update on the PTA under the announcement section.
Yeah, under announcements.
Okay, so if you share that under announcements.
Yes, and the pool would be under the action items. I'll be seeking a vote from the body.
Hey everyone, I'm gonna log out and then I'm gonna log back in. There's, like I said, I can't hear anything. It's just.
Are you ready for a motion to approve the amended agenda, Madam Chair?
I think she's having some connection issues. So she said she needed to log out really quickly and log back in.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, sorry everyone, I'm back. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mother Moore, I'm just gonna pick up where we last ended. I am not really sure how that works to add something to the agenda unless I guess we'll take a vote to add those items. The pool, you said, to the action items, and then you want to speak about, I'm sorry, I didn't write that down. Did you say your second thing was, Mother Moore?
Um, under your announcements, we'll give an update on the PTA.
I added it to the screen.
Okay, awesome. Okay, so let's approve the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Offer a motion to approve the agenda with the additions as given by Mamie Moore.
A second?
I second it.
Thank you. All in favor, please say A or raise your hand.
Just a point of procedure, Madam Chair, one of the things I failed to do with you all before is that there has to be a call for discussion, even though we may discuss it beforehand, but when you have a motion, the next step before you vote is to ask if there's any discussion.
Thank you, Mother Moore. Sorry. And you want me to add this for anytime we approve an agenda item? A discussion
Yeah,
about?
the process for moving a motion is to get the motion, the second, and then you open it up for any discussion from the body.
Okay. Are there any abstentions?
No, you have to do the discussion, and then you ask for the vote.
Is there any discussion? A or nay?
I vote yes.
I'm sorry, did somebody say something? I didn't hear anything.
You want me to raise the hands, or are we doing a voice?
We can raise your hands or say A. It doesn't matter. Raise your hand or say A at this point. Okay, so are there any abstentions? I don't think I see any. Okay, is that good enough, Miss Moore? Mother Moore, or do we need to do something else? Do I need to add anything, or is that good?
Yeah, I mean, if everybody approved it, then we're good.
Thank you. Okay, now we will review and approve the meeting minutes from our last meeting. The minutes have been provided to you. Are there any corrections? Is that what we were saying, Mother Moore? Oh, no, that was for the new one. Were there any corrections to our last agenda? Probably not, because we adjourned it, but I'm going to put it out there. All right. If there are no further corrections, may I have a motion to approve the previous meeting minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Do I still need to do a discussion, Mother Moore, or no? All in favor, please say A, and I guess we will take, we'll just go down, say A.
A.
Aye.
Any nays?
A.
Any abstentions? Awesome. So we will now move to our final budget recommendation approval. And we are going to start with our discussion items on our agenda. So we will now move to our next item of business. Principal Shakir, please share with us your final budget recommendation.
All right, good afternoon, everyone. So from the time that we met at our last meeting, I actually had an opportunity to go to my staffing and budget conference with my associate superintendent. So all of the recommendations that were made during the last budget meeting and voted on, there were actually no changes made to the budget. So there are no addendums or additions that need to be noted. I am going to share with you all. This is the actual the current allocations of our staff budget sheet right here. Again, the for the 26-27 school year, as well as the budget by function. And so as you can see, once the final budget was approved with the associate superintendent, 77% of the budget is being directed towards direct instruction, meaning that individuals that will directly have some form of contact directly with students to help move student achievement. Were there any questions from the last time? Because there were no changes from our last discussion, Madam Chair.
Yes, Madam Chair, I have some questions. I needed to know which items, Dr. Shakir, tie into the STEM part of the curriculum. Is that the way to ask it?
Oh, so for this, which items? Well,
Which line items are the STEM related line items in the budget?
so in the budget line items, the line item that's allocated in our budget is the annual fee that is paid to Cognia, which is the body that issues the yearly certification for Hollis. So that's been allocated for next year's budget as well. And then, of course, monies for supplies and things of that nature. As we are purchasing supplies, that would be a part of teachers' instruction with science as a content or science integration. Then the money that's in our supply line items would be allocated towards making those purchases as well. Does that make sense? Because we have an update to talk about STEM in terms of the updates regarding the what it may look like next year. But in terms of our direct budget, money that's allocated for supplies will go towards, purchasing materials that would align itself with STEM. And then, of course, we have to pay the yearly cognitive certification.
Do we have a special, underneath the personnel line item, is there any special consulting fee or any, are we hiring any STEM teachers?
So we do have a signature STEM science teacher for the middle school that was allocated in last year's budget, which I carried over into this year's budget. So one of the science teachers for middle school was coded under the STEM umbrella, but as we've discussed, STEM has not been an active practice in the school-wide. So as a school, we have to position ourselves to where we're beginning to reacclimate ourselves with integrating STEM across the curriculum. But to answer your question about a teacher, yes, there was a STEM science teacher. And then, of course, through our CTE, which can be STEM related, we're hiring the health sciences teacher, which is a part of the initiative for the Washington cluster moving into the next school year.
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Madam Chair, did you have any other questions related to the budget?
No.
Okay. And I think, okay, so I think you're able to pick up on your, I don't have your script in front of me, so I don't see it, Madam Chair.
Okay, so if there are no other discussions or feedback, we will go to the approval of the final budget recommendation. So I will now entertain a motion to approve this budget. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say A or raise your hand.
Yeah, aye.
Nay. Are there any abstentions? Okay. We will now move to our information items, which is in the principal's report.
Yes, thank you. So in the vein of STEM and moving and getting the school back into a place where we are doing STEM, I do have a few updates. I did receive a call. So our local NPU, they're working on two things. Number one, They're working on a proposal, which I received an update earlier this week saying that the proposal is almost ready for review. But they're working on a proposal to tentatively solicit Georgia Power for an investment in Hollis for around $100,000 for the upcoming school year to provide our students with STEM-related initiatives. So once that report is readily available for the Go team to review, I will share that out. So hopefully we can have that in time for the April meeting. But I also, in my conversation, Mr. O'Dunton with the MPU mentioned to me that during the summer, there's a summer STEM camp through Clark Atlanta University. So he did ask for me to provide him with 10 names of students that we feel would be who would benefit from participating in that summer program, and that they would actually provide a scholarship for these students to attend. So I am going to work with our science teachers to try to identify 10 students that we think would engage and participate in that summer opportunity. And then hopefully that will be a great summer learning for them, as well as having the tuition and fees waived and paid for. And then we talk about where is Hollis in the STEM process, because that was one of the questions that Mother Moore had raised. So Hollis pays the annual fee for cognitive certification annually, but has not had a school-wide STEM focus. And then I don't know if you are aware, when you are moving in a direction of STEM, you want to try to seek obtaining state certification through the Georgia Department of Education through STEM. So once we get things rolling with STEM and, exit the school improvement list and things of that nature, we can come back and revisit as a Go team if that's something that we want to discuss as a priority moving forward, to try to position the school to where we can obtain state STEM certification. Cognitive certification is one of those certifications that you pay for annually once the school has been officially authorized as a STEM school. So we are maintaining that so that we don't lose that credentialing. And then also, as we begin our upcoming school year for the 26-27 school year, we are working on planning STEM related activities as a part of our science and math planning, so that we can have an opportunity to make sure that we have some actual artifacts to show where we are actually moving in the direction of STEM integration across the school, both on the elementary side as well as on the middle school side.
Thank you, Dr. Shakir.
Okay.
Well,
We
Madam
also.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
yeah. Go ahead.
Madam Chair, has a couple of questions
Yes,
on
ma'am.
the NGUL. What's the name of the summer program? Where's it coming from?
It's a program that's sponsored through Clark Atlanta University. So,
Okay.
and so when I spoke with Mr. O'Dunton on Tuesday of this week, he mentioned that they wanted to sponsor 10 students. And so it starts in the summer. I think it's kind of similar to the program that they have every summer at Georgia Tech. And so he mentioned that they would be willing to actually pay the scholarship. So once we identify the 10 students, get him the names, then he's going to be in touch with us to give us more details around the tuition waiver and things of that nature, as well as he mentioned with that proposal through the NPUL about the $100,000 partnership in collaboration with Georgia Power. He says that he's almost finished with the proposal. And once the proposal is finished, then he would share that out, because I mentioned to him that I do want to share it with the Go team so that you guys have an opportunity to see the proposed idea of how we can integrate STEM in connection with utilizing Georgia Power.
So what do we do with Georgia Tech, with that program that's a partner with us?
So when I arrived to the school in July, I had a meeting with Georgia Tech in September, and Georgia Tech shared with me that they had not been in partnership with Hollis for over 2 years. And being transparent, they said they didn't know if they wanted to be in partnership, because previously they had a very hard time getting in contact with individuals, getting individuals to commit to the program, so on and so forth. So during that meeting, I shared with them that, I would be willing to engage in conversations to see how we could establish or reestablish a partnership. They shared with me in September of 2025 that they would be back in touch with me, and I have not heard from them since. So as of today, we don't have an existing partnership with Georgia Tech.
On the cognitive, what is their process in terms of doing an assessment of the programs they certify?
So they have not. So what happened is they send out a statement saying that your annual dues are are coming up for renewal. So they sent that out this year, and of course we paid that, but they have not sent out any information about coming in, doing site visits, things of that nature. So I'm not really sure if that's even the body that comes out and reviews STEM progress, because typically schools that are certified through STEM usually go through the Georgia Department of Education, which has a very rigorous and robust process for certifying the school to become STEM certified. Cognia, I think their requirements are a little less. They're not as strict as the state's requirements, but they have not asked us for any documents or things of that nature. But knowing that, as a part of our goals to try to integrate STEM across the curriculum as we move into next year, we want to build in opportunities for students to get some exposure to it, work on some activities, so that should they come back next year and say, hey, we would like to see some artifacts where the school is actually doing some STEM related type activities, we have something that we can produce for them.
Yes.
Yeah, because right now we don't have anything, because we haven't been doing STEM related type activities.
Yes. Madam Chair, I'd like to offer a motion that we pursue the partnership with, renewing the partnership with Georgia Tech, and that we position ourselves to get the Georgia Department of Education STEM certification.
Noted, Mother Moore.
Say that again.
I said noted, Mother Moore. Is there something I need to be doing with that? Because I'm new to this. Is there something other that I need to say besides write it down?
I offer the motion. If somebody agrees, they need to second it.
Okay. There's a motion by Mother Moore. Do we have a second?
A question, Madam Chair, for the body. Does that mean you all are not interested in a Georgia Tech relationship, nor do you desire to have the state Georgia education STEM certification? Or you're not clear about what Dr.
I,
Shakir is saying?
I think that's an initiative we can look into in the future. I think we have a few more pressing things in front of us right now, which is why I think we've kind of, we've been on math and literacy all year, have been kind of in the forefront, attendance, all those different initiatives. So whereas I do feel like that is something I would love to pursue, we just have, we got bigger fish to fry right now. And as far as the partnership with Georgia Tech, if I heard Dr. Shakir correctly, that he reached out to them and they hadn't responded to him. So I'm
Right.
not
So they
sure.
haven't responded back. So what I typically do, Mother, more like we did this year, I had the partners breakfast. So I'll open, the door remains open, but it's a two-way partnership. And so I had nothing to do with what happened under previous administrations, with severed or whatever left a bad taste in whomever's mouth related to the partnership. But when I met with them, I told them that we would be willing to partner with them. So we'll try again in as we are planning for next school year, to invite them, to our partner luncheon. And if they're interested in doing so, then we can kind of gradually reestablish that relationship. But as of right now, they kind of just left us in a place to where they don't, it's in a place of uncertainty right now. And so with my focus being around the state and working to get the school off of the state identified list, I haven't had a lot of time to really kind of run behind them, Georgia Tech being, to kind of see, where they are. But we will kind of reach out to them again to see if they're interested in starting a partnership. But again, with Washington Cluster having this health sciences initiative in partnership with Morehouse School of Medicine, that may open up other avenues or opportunities to get some STEM exposure for our students without necessarily having to go to Georgia Tech. So we just have to kind of play it by ear and see what happens.
Ms. Bambro did second it in the chat, Ms. Scott.
Oh, okay.
Good. We have a second.
And so we've already started the discussion. Madam Chair, if I could have the floor again. So my concern colleagues, is that if the the weight of this is on us. Georgia Tech has declared that we messed up. That's what's on the record for them, and that's what they'll say publicly. Under a new administration, there has to be a clear declaration of partnership interest. So even as Dr. Shakir said, he would keep the door open, but for us to have on record that we desire that partnership, not that we invest a whole lot of energy in it, but even as Dr. Shakir has said, he will keep the door open. They will be invited. Even a letter that says we continue to maintain interest, and are open for discussion on how to do that. Because, like he said, it's not on. He doesn't know what happened. None of us know what happened. But what we don't want is a black mark against the Hollis Academy. The other is to be on record that this Go team, has declared that they want to be a state certified. What we do to pursue that is what the work we have to do with Dr. Shakir, and will be dealt with a recognition of all the other things that we have to do. It may be only continuing what Dr. Shakir has planned for us as we start the new year, but we have to look like we are pursuing the top in terms of what STEM offers. That is the nature of why I put that motion on the floor, so that the Go team is clearly on board, and folks can say, this school has declared this is where they want to go. The next step is how we start going there. So we're not going to throw stuff off in order to do that, but that as we go forward, we know that is a direction that we're pursuing.
Awesome, Mother Moore. Thank you. And thank you, Dr. Shakir, for that report. And now we are going to move.
Madam Chair, you got to move the motion.
We already moved it, Mother Moore.
You got to get to vote on it.
We already.
No, we didn't vote. So we don't know who's in favor. We didn't know if it passed or it failed.
Thought that Ms. Fambro gave a second. She seconded your motion.
Yes, now we have to.
Okay, so I thought that, okay. Is all in favor?
Aye.
Do we have any nays, any abstentions?
Billy Walker, nay.
All right, thank you. Mother Moore, is there anything else that I need to do with her nay? Or do we move on?
I'm sorry, I got kicked out, Madam Chair. Did we vote?
Yep, we voted.
Yes, I was kicked out. Mine was a yes.
Okay. So I was asking if there was a nay, and I just was asking, I just want to make sure that, I'm staying in compliance. Do I need to do anything with that nay? Can you hear me, Mother Moore? Okay, maybe she got kicked out. So we're going to move forward now with our report out from our CAT report. Dr. Shakir?
Yeah, so from the cluster advisory team, they put together some updates related to eSPLOST and strategic planning that they asked schools to share with the community. So, of course, the focus is on redistricting, capital planning, and the road to eSPLOST 2027. And so some of these timelines that the district have produced from January through March of 2026, the district and superintendent is working on recommendations for development related to APS staff and leadership. February to May, the district is hosting community engagement, which includes Accelerate APS series. And so Accelerate, for those who may or may not know, that's the literacy initiative that's happening in the district next year, where certain schools will be piloting this accelerated literacy initiative. So they are having community sessions with those particular school communities that elected to be a part of that and went through the vetting process. Of course, during this time period, we have cluster advisory, teacher advisory, as well as student advisory. From March through April, the district is working on the eSPLOS proposals that they're putting together and prioritizing through the cluster advisory teams for proposals to the board, which we kind of had a soft introduction to that. We had a meeting, Mother Moore and I and Miss Belil and another one of our parents. We met with Dr. Bradshaw last week to talk about the pool. Mother Moore will talk a little bit more about that later. And we kind of talked about how the district is prioritizing the different eSPLOS projects that they have forthcoming. From April through October, there are non-SPLOS dependent redistricting for 27-28. June 2026, the Board of Education adopts of their eSPLOS 2027 referendum and call for a vote. So that's when they will come together and decide which projects they want to prioritize, where the tax dollars going to be allocated to make sure that we handle the various expenditures that the board just deems significant that they need to make sure that we address. And then from July to October, the website of eSPLOS 2027 information, I guess, will be updated for the community, for both internal and external stakeholders, in case you need to go and view that information to stay current on eSPLOS projects that are happening in APS. Then in November, there's a vote on the referendum. November through December, first and second reads of the non-SPLOS dependent redistricting. Begin redistricting based on 27 SPLOS projects. And I guess at that time, they might talk about, the anticipated school closures, redistricting, school renovations, things of that nature. And then by July 1st, 2027, if eSPLOS 27 passes, the collections start in terms of collecting those tax dollars from community members. For conversation, the question asked, as we plan for eSPLOS 2027, which capital improvement projects do you think have the greatest impact on our students? Construction, renovation, infrastructure improvement, athletics, safety, security, technology, transportation, nutrition, and why? So that would be opened up to the floor, Madam Chair, with the GO team to discuss which one of these projects have the greatest impact on our students. And we want to prioritize our top 3.
Would we like to? Well, I guess we should open up the floor for a discussion.
Now, I can tell you that it was shared with me last week that Hollis has gone up to the board and they have been approved for renovations with our HVAC. So we've had several issues with our HVAC, just in terms of maintenance, repairs, upgrades, so on and so forth. So that is a priority. I guess that's not a renovation; it's more of an upgrade or infrastructure piece, whatever they call it in the construction world. They're working on fixing the HVAC in the building to make sure that during the winter we have adequate heat, during the summer we have adequate cooling for our students. So I know that that's on the agenda item and has been board approved as a priority for Hollis.
So let's look at our top 3. Does everybody want to go ahead and put their top 3 in the chat?
And Mother Moore, this might be a good time to talk about the pool from our discussion, because that will come under renovation.
Is there renovation line of facilities? Infrastructure, rather.
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be renovation because they have to go, because they said they have to gut all that stuff out. They have to redo everything. So the pipes and stuff. So I think it would be like considered a renovation project, I think.
And I'm probably
You know,
put that if you
one,
guys to put out, if you could put, I'm just put your top three letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, or F.
oh, we're doing ABC. I just did started the numbers. I'm sorry. Is that going to be all right?
That'll be fine. But if you could just put it all in one email, like
Yeah.
And then the second part to that question, Ms. Scott asked, looking ahead to 2032, once everybody has had a chance to identify their priorities, which would be the final year of SPLOST 27. So I guess whatever is voted on in 27 carries all the way through 2032. What are 1 to 2 physical changes or capital projects that would make you feel East SPLOST was a success? And then Mother Moore, I don't know if you want to chime in and talk about your update that we discussed about the pool with the team, with the Go team.
Yes. Yes. The the conversation that was held with the facilities department just enabled us to be able to establish clearly a trail that can lead us towards dealing with the reactivation of the pool. The number one thing is that we need to deal with our safety and security, and I'm assuming, Dr. Shakir, that the safety includes, the work they're doing around, well, it would be more health and safety and security for me. So they project that Hollis will have covered all of that by 2027 through 2027, which then leaves it open for us to be able to, um, you know, advocate with the board to allocate funds for the reactivation of the pool so that we can look at upgrading our athletic program. So the meeting enabled the development of a game plan and time frame, recognizing that the big piece that's going to happen is one, identifying the finances. There's already been a preliminary budget that was developed for reactivation by facilities um, a year ago, so the cost will have increased. The head of the department said that he would project that there's probably a 20% increase given, inflation and other cost factors. The PTA will move to meet with the board District 2 representative to catch him up and get him involved in the plan. But they are very comfortable and reassured us that they project that all of the health and safety, and matters will be taken care of by the end of the 2027 year. So we can look at now how we can advocate for the splash funds. So
And then too, they shared too for the Go team's awareness that before, I guess when the pool was open before years ago, it was community pool, but they did share the pool is actually owned by the Atlanta Board of Education.
yes,
So it's not actually owned by the city. And they shared with us that even if they were to move forward with the work for renovation, initially it would be for internal students, anybody that's a part of Atlanta Public Schools, but not necessarily, they would have to figure out the logistics for opening it up to the broader community, is what I got from that conversation too, because they got to make sure they have the right logistics in place for safety reasons, so on and so forth. So I think that's important for the Go team to know also.
And that it would again be viewed as an improvement or advancement in our athletic program at Hollis.
Yep, absolutely.
So step one would be the advantage to to the student body, and then the next step would be making it that resource now available to the community, recognizing that there is no athletic facilities for the youth, children and youth in the community at large.
And so Dr. Bradshaw, who's our deputy superintendent, and he's over facilities and district-wide projects, things of that nature. So what he shared with us during that meeting as the next step is for our local community team, Mother Moore, Miss Belial, so on and so forth. We want to try to get an opportunity to meet with our District 2 representative. What's his name again? Tony? I can't, his last name slipped my mind, Mother Moore.
Yeah,
Our
I think
new
it's
board member. So that he can be a champion behind the work of pushing the movement forward and recommending that to the board, other board members and the superintendent in terms of trying to get
yes.
the renovation in place and on the docket as a part of an East Floss project for Hollis moving forward. So Mother Moore, I think you guys y'all already called him, so you're just waiting to hear back from him.
Yes, yes. He called me this evening. I'm going to call him back at 5:30.
Oh,
He called me.
Tony Mitchell, that's his name. Isn't it Tony Mitchell?
Yes.
Yes. So just let us know. So hopefully by our April meeting, we might have an update related to, his stance and where he is in terms of helping to get the pool, getting behind the call to get the pool back open at Hollis.
Well, thank you too. I'll look at, there were five, there are 6 voting members here. And of the 5 who did vote, our first priority, it looks as if it would look like, could you go back, Dr. Shakir? I think facilities. I think it was the infrastructure. Yes, that was the top vote. The second one and third one, it was we had 2 votes for safety and security. Those were the top ones. And then for the third one, we had athletics. So I guess we can come back to that.
What was the number 2?
I'm sorry.
What was number 2?
Number 2, of the 5, we only had 2 voting members who voted same, which
Oh,
was
okay.
safety and security. And then the third priority, there were only 2 voting members who voted the same, and that was for athletics. So we know the first priority is obviously going to be facilities.
Yes.
Yeah, and infrastructure. We just need to come back on a second. So do we have a motion? Well, I'm motioning to put that on next agenda's topic. Action items. Sorry, action items to discuss what our second and third priority will be. Can I get a second?
Second.
Okay, everybody. If you're all in favor, can you say yay? A. Can you say nay?
Aye.
A.
Yeah. Yes, Mother Moore.
Good, thank you. Any abstentions? All right, well, thank everyone, and our meeting is adjourned.
Madam Chair, could I have, please, the, move the motion for the GO team to support the plan to reactivate the pool.
I'll second that.
All opposed? I'm sorry, all in favor?
You got to do your discussion.
Is there a discussion? I thought we already discussed it.
Well, you got to ask it anyway in case, somebody thought of something,
Oh, okay. Thank you, Ms. Moore. Is there any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Are there any abstentions? All right, well, meeting is adjourned. Our secretary will record she's going to record all of this information that we discussed today, and then we will discuss. Well, we already have our meeting already. When's our next meeting? I have no idea. Miss Baker, when's our next meeting scheduled for? Because I know we
Give me a
decided.
minute. Let me check my calendar. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't have it on mine. Thank you. And it's okay, Miss Baker, if you can't readily find it, because I know you're probably at home. We already voted, on those dates, and we already had them on the calendar. So,
Yeah, and I wrote it down like at the beginning of the school year, so I'm shuffling
yeah,
through my papers.
yep, don't worry about it.
It's on the Go Team website though. I know
Yeah,
it's there.
yeah. All righty. Thank you so much, Miss
All
Baker.
right.
Thanks everybody for your